Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominick, creator of BusinessMiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 47, Energy Management as a Core Practice. Listen in to find out the number one way to receive the best business results by using energy management as a consistent core practice. Today's training is all about energy management as a core practice. So first of all, let's get really clear about what we're talking about when we talk about core practice. So according to the Webster Dictionary, the definition of core is central or most important part of something. And the definition for practice is perform an activity or exercise, skill, repeatedly or regularly in order to improve or maintain one's proficiency. Let's take a deep breath in and let it out. So where in your life do you have a practice? Do you have a practice when it comes to basic self-care? Like brushing your teeth? Is that something that's central or most important part of something? Is it something that you perform repeatedly or regularly in order to improve or maintain? Do you have a practice when it comes to food? How about your environment? What about your physical endurance? Or simply overall physical health? What about spirituality? And now, how about your business? Having a core practice, and particularly when it comes to energy management, is an imperative part of your business success. And I want you to write that down. You can hear it in the definitions. Central or most important part of something, perform an activity or exercise repeatedly or regularly in order to improve or maintain one's proficiency. Energy management as a core practice, imperative, and especially as a highly sensitive entrepreneur. So let's look at why. Why is this really, truly so important? Well, first of all, practice is also at the core of A Course in Miracles, the spiritual and psychological teaching and curriculum. Lesson 1 of A Course in Miracles workbook states that you want to establish a practice. The lesson itself is the line or the practice of nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place means anything. The course recommends that the lessons are done twice a day, preferably morning and evening, and they should be attempted for more than a minute unless you're in an extreme sense of hurry. But a comfortable sense of leisure is essential. The course also states that the lessons, such as this first lesson, should not become ritualistic, but simply practice. And the lesson also states that this is the purpose of the exercise. The reason why A Course in Miracles emphasizes this is because it is a course in retraining of your mind. It is the practice of releasing the meaning that you've attached to everything and anything up until this point of your life. This retraining and this releasing gives you a solid foundation to provide a shift in perception, looking at the world differently, which according to A Course in Miracles is the definition of a miracle. Now, A Course in Business Miracles is an extension of exactly this. As a highly sensitive entrepreneur, as you are, so is your business. Your business is literally an extension of you. And so in order for your business to be successful, as HSEs, we must strengthen our strengths. And I want you to write that down. As HSEs, we are coded to be natural and successful royal advisors, according to Dr. Elaine Aron, founding researcher of the highly sensitive person. We are the royal advisors of our society. We are meant to be the teachers, the theologians, the coaches, the therapists, the healing practitioners, the creatives. It's the part that we have been brought here to play. So you have skills and talents that are literally within you, in your body, in your genes. I should say in your cells, in your genes, in your DNA. You are, by nature, intuitive, empathic, deep listener, deep thinker. Those are your strengths. Those are my strengths. But so often, as highly sensitives, these strengths get pushed aside by our shadows, our highly sensitive shadows. Shadows such as easily overwhelmed, shadows such as trapped by perfectionism, shadows such as a tendency to procrastinate. So in order to be successful in the E part of HSE, the entrepreneur, self-employed success, then we must strengthen our strengths. And like anything else, these are muscles to be built. And the number one way to do this is energy management. And the number one way to receive the most results and most accelerated results in the strengthening of your strengths is energy management as a core practice, and a core practice that is done consistently. Dr. Joe Spinenza, author of Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, states that as you learn to think differently, get this, your body physically changes. And he has a whole bunch of science to back it up and to prove it. That literally your cellular structure, your gene structure and your DNA shifts in accordance to shifts in thinking. So of course, any shift in thinking, if it can impact your body, it can impact your business. And it will. But now it's about the law of probability. One thought of a new direction is not enough to swim upstream against the billions of thoughts that you've had up until this moment that perhaps haven't been serving you in the best way possible. Now, unless you currently have all of the business and life success that you desire, then most likely you have not been thinking thoughts up until this point to create you what you want. The well-known saying is your best thinking got you here. And in hindsight, we're grateful for that. The Course also states that the only thing that remains from your past is all of the blessings that you've received. But Dr. Joe Spinenza says that if we continue to think as we've always thought, then we are creating our present, our now, and our future as if it were a repeat of the past. And I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in that. And more importantly, what I do know is that your business success will not be created by the thinking that got you here. It will be created by new thoughts, new energy, new behaviors. So again, in order to do that, we must retrain our minds. We must release the meaning that we've attached to almost everything up until now. And the way to do that is energy management as a core practice. Now, what happens when we don't do this? Well, first of all, I will tell you that the lack of energy management as a core practice is the biggest downfall across the board with highly sensitive entrepreneurs. I have seen it over and over again. If I've seen it once, I've seen it more times than I can count. And I've seen it at every level of business success. It doesn't matter whether the HSE is just starting out in business, whether they're looking to leverage their business, or whether they've already gotten to a solid place and now are looking for full expansion. Every time an HSE stumbles, falls, and has difficulty getting back up, I can always bring it back to a miss in energy management. And what's so tricky about this is that energy management is often the first thing to go. And especially when we get busier, and especially as our business starts to grow, and especially when we need it the most, which is when we're facing new challenges and new needs for new skills at a new level. And that is the ego mind. The ego mind, our fear-based mind, which is really just trying to protect us. Every time we're looking to create a change, the ego mind will come in and give us all of the unreasonable reasons of why we shouldn't, why we can't, and why we won't. And that is the shadow side at work. The minute the ego mind comes in, the fear kicks in, and it's a downward spiral from there for an HSE. Because not only do we have a fear of being overwhelmed and not being able to handle it, but so often we have the fear of even the possibility of being overwhelmed. And if that is the thought pattern that we give into, that is a formula for a lot of discomfort, a lot of distraction, a lot of disconnect, and ultimately a lot of destruction. Now, I know for certain, in all full honesty, is that the days that I miss my energy management are the more difficult days. I find that I'm less focused, I am less grounded, I'm less connected to myself, to my clients, and most importantly, to source. Not that I can't do a good job, but the day literally is more difficult. I feel like I'm wading through, if not necessarily mud, then at least thick water. I find that I don't have as many ideas. I find that I have difficulty being inspired. I can easily kick into old habits, like just wanting to zone out and watch TV. I have more difficulty managing my team. But you want to know the worst part on the days that I miss energy management is that I can feel my HSE shadow side dominating. I'm more impacted by other people's energies and emotions. I find myself second guessing my intuition. I find myself more concerned with what others are thinking about me. And I don't know if you can feel it, but I can tell you for certain that's a difficult place to run a business from, and it's for sure a difficult place to grow a business from. And sad but true, I've literally seen this right in front of my eyes with HSEs in the Business Miracle community. I've seen talented HSEs, strong intuitive abilities. I've seen them get off course, completely forget the practical core practices, go from really being able to generate a good, solid, sustainable monthly income to suddenly having money difficulties. I've seen them go back to habits of busting their butt and working really hard to the place where they're just in shutdown. I've seen HSEs struggle against independence from their spouse or their parents. I've seen talented, super talented HSEs just spin their wheels over and over and over again in regards to inertia and procrastination, fueled by perfectionism. I've seen HSEs take months and months to just get an easing out. I've seen HSEs just overtaken by, I'm going to do it my way. And I've seen difficulty in being able to actually join with others, and so much suffering and struggle and solitude as a result. It's hard. It's hard to witness. And every single time when I check in, what I hear is, there hasn't been core practice. And the first core practice to go was energy management. Now, like I said, I can still have days like this. They're few and far between. And I can catch it the minute I feel it. And I say to myself, Heather, You did not do your energy management. That's what's going on with this day. So the question is always, what do you want? Do you want to be living your life, building your business from a solid foundation, from a place of peace, poised for prosperity? Do you want to be in your HSE strengths? Or do you want to stay with what's familiar, with what's comfortable? Maybe just enough to get by in your very simple daily routine, but mostly just flogged with fogginess. What do you want? And then the important follow-up question, always to the question, what do you want, is what do you want more? And you do an energetic scan and you weigh one against the other. Gosh, the idea of really coming into my strengths, that really scares me because what if I can't handle it? What's going to be expected of me? Those might be some thoughts that come up. And then you weigh that against staying with what's familiar, feeling this ongoing sense of overwhelm and confusion and lack of worth, lack of esteem, always people-pleasing, taking on too much energy, feeling exhausted, confused. Which one? Which one has a higher energy? What do you want? What do you want more? Now, especially as an HSE, because you are coded to be so deeply connected, you more than anyone can think and believe your way into anything. And I want you to write that down. I'm going to say it again. You, more than anyone, can think and believe your way into anything. But you must first choose your thoughts and beliefs. And then, more than anything, is you must reinforce them and you must retrain them to stay as the new normal thoughts and beliefs.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.